guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making this Etsy order. She wanted this fall orchid homecoming set that I had originally made for my younger sister, but she wanted them on medium square tips. Now I've already went ahead and buffed the nails. I am going in with a layer of base coat just to make sure all the gel on top sticks on. And if you guys hear any weird noises, it's because I'm recording this voiceover in the parking lot while I'm on my lunch at work. So if you hear any screams or any cars, just know I'm just at work. And now I'm going in with a layer of my milky white. This is A732 from Beetles, and I'm just going to be applying this on the middle finger and then one of the pinkies. And as always, you guys, everything that I use will be in the description box below. And now I'm going in with a pink nude gel. This is going to be on one of the pointer fingers and one of the pinkies. And since this gel is really sheer, I'm going to go in with 2 coats. And now for the Aurora finish, we're going to go in with a chrome I got from Daiso. And I'm also going to be using these mini eyeshadow applicators. Now you don't need to use the same exact chrome. I know that it's really hard to find these at Daiso, so you can just use one from Amazon. Just make sure it says like Aurora finish. I find that this chrome sticks better when there's top coat applied, so I just applied a very thin layer of top coat to the milky white nails and cured it for like 60 seconds. By the way, this chrome was like $1.75 I think, and it actually comes with like a lot of chrome. Like this is my first jar and I still haven't finished it. I've used it for like 5 sets already. And as you can see, a little goes a long way, so I think it's like really worth it for the price. I do have a couple other pearly chromes that I got off of Amazon, but I find that the effect it has on the nails isn't the same as this like hollowy effect that the Daiso chrome gives off. So if you can get your hands on this chrome at your local Daiso, like just get it, okay? It's just so good. And then to protect that little chrome effect that we just buffed on, I'm going to go ahead and apply 1 layer of top coat. And I would really recommend having 2 separate top coat bottles, just because when you're working with any nails or like any sets that have glitter or shimmers, some of those shimmers or glitters get stuck onto the brush and then it mixes in with the rest of the top coat that's left in the bottle. It's not really required, but I feel like it prevents any contamination, I guess, of any shimmers or glitters getting onto sets that don't have any. Just a little pro tip to keep your sets nice and clean. And now on one of the thumbs, we're going to go in with this burgundy gel. This is B973 from Beetles. By the way, you guys, don't make the same mistake I did. It was extremely hot this day, and like this just caused like all of my gels, including my nail glue, to be super loose. So I'd recommend you to like either have AC, a fan or something. Just keep your room cool, or keep your gels like in a very cool environment. Maybe put it in a fridge or something, because it's really hard to work with when it's super loose. Because it's so thin, I ended up applying like 2 layers when I could have applied just 1 like I usually do. And then on the last pointer finger, I'm also applying 2 layers of the same burgundy gel. And then for both ring fingers, I'm going in with this lemony pastel yellow color. This is going to be the nail that has that golden butterfly charm, as well as the 3D lions. I had ended up using 2 layers of this gel just because the first layer ended up like really uneven. So I just went ahead and just applied another layer just to even things out. And finally for the thumb, we're going to go in with this bright yellow. Like this is like primary color yellow, guys. When I first made this set, I guess I just wanted to do like autumn colors, so like brown, burgundy, and yellow, especially since the leaves were all turning yellow. But honestly, this shade was just like too bright for me. But since I made it with the first set and I posted it, I gotta stay true to the order. And now we're finally done with our base colors for our nails. Now I'm going in with a buffing block just to buff the top coat off of the milky white gel. The whole purpose of the top coat was just to keep everything in place, like keep all the shimmers, the chrome, protect it. but the reason why I'm buffing it off is so that the next top coat layer can stick on, as well as the orchids that we're gonna make. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing for the pointed fingers, except we're going to be wiping off that tacky layer that you get after you cure your gels with some 70% isopropanol. You can use any percentage of like rubbing alcohol, but 70% is what I had. Have you guys seen that TikTok of like the barber saying, "It's alcohol"? Bro, I got like brain rot or something, because like it's been stuck in my head ever since I saw that TikTok. Enough of my brain rot. Here is the gel that we're going to use as a solid clear gel for the orchids. And I think it's on sale right now for $6.99 on Amazon. I'm not really sure, but you guys can go ahead and check out that link. And I'm also going to be using that silicone tool right there, and then this cuticle stick just to help me dig out the gel. By the way, you want to work with like clean hands when you handle the solid glue, just because it gets really sticky. Also, like anything that's on your hands will stick to it and it'll just make it look really dirty. You're going to want to form 4 balls for each orchid, and they're going to be 2 sizes. There's going to be like the 2 larger ones, that's going to be for the top and bottom petals, and then for your side petals, they're going to be a little smaller. You want to try to keep the balls like similar size, just because it's going to look really uneven if you don't. And if you guys watched my last video, this is the same process I did for the orchids. In fact, this is like basically the same set, it's just that was spring and now this is fall. I ended up having to ditch the gloves later on just because it like stuck, the solid gel stuck to the gloves, so that made it really hard. And now I'm just taking my silicone tool, dipping it in some alcohol just so I can prevent the gel from sticking onto the silicone tool, and then pressing down with the flat end, and then forming the triangular part of the petals with the pointier end. Now the process was the same for the top petal as it was for the bottom. Some people like to cure in between petals, but I prefer curing at the end when everything is formed, just because I like to see how it looks all in all before I cure it. And the thing about this gel is that it's very easy to use, and if you end up messing up like a petal or something, you can always just scratch it out and then like start over, and you won't have to worry about it looking weird. And honestly, it probably doesn't matter, especially at the end when everything comes together. But I personally would consider myself a very attention to detail person, so like if one little small detail is off, I am no longer happy with the set and I have to start over. Otherwise, I'm gonna go insane thinking about this all night. And then for the side petals, you're just gonna put both of them down, flatten them out with the back of the silicone tool, and then just form a little line like so. You want to make sure it sticks to the center of the 2 petals that you made earlier, and just play around with it until it looks right. It's the same exact thing on the other side. Once you're done, you're also going to want to make some lines on the bigger petals just to create some like indentation to make it look more flower-like, I guess, or petal-like. And then before I cure everything, I like to go in with the back or the pointy end of the silicone tool just to dig out a little hole so that my pearl can sit directly in the center without falling apart or just like poking out a little too much. Before I finish off the design of the orchid, I am going to go in and draw on the butterfly wings. I'm going to be going over the butterfly wings with some gold chrome, so I'm using some black gel as a base for the liner. When I was painting on the lines, I found that the lines were pretty thick, and that's what it looked like on the set of nails that I made for my little sister, but you could make them a little thinner. I felt like this tied everything together, honestly though. Then after curing the designs on both of the nails, I went ahead and buffed on some of this bronzy goldish chrome. Since we buffed the nails prior to drawing on the black gel, the bronze chrome is just going to isolate and stick only to the parts that have black gel. To wipe off any excess chrome, you're going to take the back of the applicator and just brush it off. It should come off like so. So for the ring fingers, originally on the set that I made for my little sister, I had like the idea of making an Aurora nail using the eyeshadow since I didn't have my airbrush at the time, but that didn't actually end up well. I ended up doing like this weird like watercolor design with the eyeshadow, and then I just went over with some alcohol and tried to dilute it and sort of create that marble effect. That's what I'm doing now, but honestly it takes a lot of like playing around just to get it to look like what it did in the picture, so it's not 100% exactly the same. This was kind of hard to replicate because I didn't even know what I was doing the first time. Now for the stigmas of the orchids, I'm going to go ahead and use the same solid clear gel as we did for the orchids, and then go ahead and roll them into balls. Then I'm going to roll them into the bronze chrome and then cure them. You guys can also just use like the already golden like pre-made pearls, but at the time I did not have those, so this is what I did instead. And this is what they ended up looking like, and yeah, I dropped a couple of them, but I think it looks really like neat. I think it really made the design look true to a flower. And then for the colors of the petals, I just ended up using just various different gels just to draw various lines to create that orchid look. To match with the rest of the palette of the set, I just used a mix of yellows, reds, burgundies, anything in between like magentas. And then for the pinkies, I ended up drawing on some vines. The milky white iridescent nail had the burgundy color, and then the pinky nude had the dark eucalyptus sage color. This is what everything looked like before the charms. I'm going in with these golden butterflies. These are going to be on the watercolor type nail. And I'm so sad, guys, I accidentally dropped some acetone on this case. That's why it looks so weird and melted. Now with the butterflies, I'm placing them diagonally on the nails towards the bottom, and I'm facing them downwards so that when you point the nails towards yourself, they face upwards. Since it was so hot in the room, it made my glue very thin, as I mentioned earlier, which made everything just slide off the nail. So I had to work pretty fast. I ended up just going in with like a little dot at first, and then after curing that dot of glue, I ended up going in and surrounding the edges of the butterfly so that it doesn't really get caught in the hair as much, and also to further secure it. I think the most annoying part about working with this very thin nail glue was that when I wanted to create these very defined 3D lines, the gel would end up like flattening out and just sliding off the nail, and it was just very, very hard to work with. But I ended up making two swirly lines near the butterfly to look like a trail. And then on the pinkies, I added some dots of glue just to look like little water droplets. And then I also ended up adding some rhinestones. I'm using these champagne colored ones, and they match with the overall palette of the set, so that made me really happy, especially with like the bronze chrome. And then after all the details, this is what the set looked like before top coat. When you're applying your top coat, you want to make sure you cover everything, especially that golden butterfly. I find that when you apply your top coat, you want to make sure you apply it to everything, especially the golden butterfly. I find that over time, it starts to fade out, like the color itself. I feel like it kind of like tarnishes, honestly, since it's not actual gold. I'm not going to put real gold on nails. I feel like that's a waste. Now, to top coat rhinestones or to not. It really all depends. I feel like bigger stones, like those like heart stones or those bigger pieces that you use to make prom nails or stuff like that, like freestyles, those shouldn't be top coated. But anything like those circular tiny rhinestones like the ones I'm using, those can be top coated since it doesn't really matter. Plus it prevents it from falling out or sticking into your hair and everything. And this is what it looks like after top coat. I'm just putting this on the nail card. And that's all that I really have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Elaine for ordering this set off of me on Etsy. And if you guys ever want to order something from me or see anything that you like on the channel, be sure to check out my shop link below. And here's their final reveal, guys. Don't forget to like, comment on what you want to see next, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!